What's going on, everybody? Welcome into our first of our baseball 2026 previews. We got this started with the help of our co-hosts here, Marv and Seth. I'm Dominic Crusetto. We are excited to bring you some before the first pitch baseball information on some of the best teams, not only in the sunbelt, but also in the country. Very excited to start this one off tonight, fellas, with the Troy Trojans. Anything you want to say before we bring our guest in?
Man, excited to get baseball season started. We're kind of making a joke earlier that it doesn't feel like baseball season, but 10 days away.
Yep, just 10 days. I think Seth's still falling out up there in Boone, right?
Yeah, a little nippy up here, but just happy to be back with you boys. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So without further ado, we are going to bring in one of the coaching staff at Troy and one of the best players in the country. We are welcoming Coach Ben Wolgamot and Blake Cavill to the show. Thank you guys very much for being with us tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Pleasure being here. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think Marv has a question for you, Blake, to start it off, because he realized a little now we realize the accent, but I think Marv saw something earlier on the internet today that maybe we weren't quite all aware of before.
Did I read that when you were growing up, you had a pet shark?
I did, yes.
All right, we got to hear about that.
I actually had a tarantula last year.
All right, what type of shark was a pet shark?
It was a white shark. Her name was Shadow.
Her name was Shadow.
Awesome.
So, like in an aquarium in your house?
It probably only got to about that big, and then I had to go to the RSPCA and do all that to let it go.
That's awesome.
Is that a normal thing in Australia to have a pet shark?
No, I wouldn't say so. No.
That's one of the coolest fun facts I've ever heard about anybody in any sport in Sunbelt or maybe just college athletics in general. So very cool. Now the tarantula, you said you had that on campus. Yeah. If you said you just last year?
Yeah, I would actually bring it to the locker room before games.
My next question was gonna be asking Coach if he was aware and had seen this thing. So I'm guessing that answer, Coach, is yes.
Yeah, well aware. I mean, I think Blake is probably the most interesting man in college baseball, maybe even college athletics. But we are obviously very, very lucky to have him, his tarantula, his sharks, any and all animals he wants to keep. He's more than welcome to have.
That's awesome.
Any surprise animals coming to the dugout this year?
Maybe just my puppy this year.
Scaled it down just a little bit.
Yeah.
What kind of puppy is it?
A Labrador. Her name's Harper.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Very nice. I think all three of us are dog people here. So, Coach, you have a dog as well?
We have two dogs, a boxer coonhound mix and a Rhodesian Ridgeback. So, barely fits in the house, but she's there to protect.
There you
go. Nice. I love that. Seth, you want to get a question in here?
Yeah, Blake, we've done a little bit of homework on you, a little bit coming into tonight. It looks like you've done everything but play in the World Baseball Classic before you came over to the United States. Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to, how you found Florida, and then how you found Bowling Green, Kentucky.
It really started the Lily Gold Series, then the 15s World Cup, 18s World Cup. I actually, after the 18s, I just Googled best American junior colleges, and Northwest Florida came up, and then maybe in a week and a half, I was committed, flew over 3 weeks later. The only person I knew was Doug Martin, the head coach, so knew nobody else. Then maybe a year later, WKU came around, did there for a year, and then now I'm home at Troy now, where it's the perfect fit for me.
That's awesome. I'm sure Troy is glad to have it.
I'm glad to have Troy.
It's funny. We tried the first time around, And we weren't the number one for Blake. So Blake, moved on and went to Western, and obviously they do a great job, but we were very thrilled to get him the second time around. And I think it's been a perfect fit.
Very nice.
Coach,
So
were you a part of that recruiting process the first time and the second time?
We were. Well, we played Northwest Florida in the fall of 22. And that was our regional team. And they came in and they were really good. I mean, they had the Witherspoon brothers. They had obviously Blake and a bunch of other guys who were very, very good players who moved on, played Division I baseball, but also played professional baseball and were drafts. And Blake had he had 6 hits, which isn't shocking now knowing Blake. But, I mean, he's got bumped for hits. He's getting base hits. He's stealing bases. And, Blake at the time, he wasn't necessarily – can I say, I don't know if I can, it wasn't like the most physically, wasn't the most physical presence. Right. And so we didn't know if it was a fit, but then he gets 5 or 6 hits. And we're like, what are we doing? Don't overcook this thing. Let's recruit the kid. Well, he comes on a visit, school's out of session. I think it's over Christmas break. And he decides to go to Western Kentucky, which was unfortunate, but obviously it worked out for him that year. And then back, he goes into the portal, and, we were cautiously optimistic we could get back into the recruiting process with him. And luckily we were, and moved at a decent speed. So we felt good about getting him wrapped up. And now we've had him for 2 years, luckily, with the extra year.
yeah, absolutely. I got a question on that. So obviously you're aware of him. You can't talk to him while he's at school. We're all aware of that. But how quickly do you have to get on Blake or anybody else you're going after in the portal? I mean, we know football seems like guys have deals in place before because of how fast they sign. I don't feel, or maybe it's just not as advertised, that baseball's quite that quick. But I don't know, maybe you can give us a little more insight about how fast that portal moves on the baseball side of things.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's that world. I mean, that's a different world when you see the tweets of so-and-so's final 3 schools are X, X, and X, and the portal hasn't even opened, right? I don't know how that happens. But for us, just in terms with Blake, it was crazy. I remember it was the quiet period. I think it was over the 4th of July weekend or what. It was close to that time where it was the last day you could go into the portal. Blake went in, and I woke up. We have young kids, so we're up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and just habit at that time of the year is you look at the portal every chance you get. So you wake up, look at the portal, and you see Blake Cavill's name, and I still had his phone number, so I shoot him. At that time you don't care. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to text him to see, hey, what's going on and where he is with everything, and obviously we got back into the recruiting process. I think the great thing about Blake was he was super open with what he was doing, right? It wasn't, hey, I'm going to the portal just to collect all these offers and see what's going to happen. He kind of had a list of 2 or 3 schools that he was really focused on, and Troy happened to be one of them because of the prior relationship, and we'd started to get some Northwest Florida guys. And so, a week or 2 went on, I guess, and maybe not even that long. And Blake committed to us, which, we were very excited. I mean, we had a great portal class, but to add, what we think is the best first baseman in the portal, a guy who we know is going to come in and sit in our 3-hole or 2-hole, wherever he was, but also have those type of numbers in such a good league that, it definitely, it changes the whole dynamic of your roster. But then also other guys that you can recruit. We got Blake Cavill. Oh, wow. You guys are going to be really good. I want to be a part of that.
Yeah. Blake, can you kind of talk about that process on your end, jumping into the portal on the last day and then rekindling a past relationship and how you ended up at Troy?
Yeah, it was. I had a game that day. I wasn't playing, and then I called my family back at home because it's the time of the day, so it had to be later in the afternoon. And Dad said, "Go if you want to do it. I'm all for it." And I said, "All right." It probably did it about 6 o'clock at night, the last day, and then as soon as that happened, the phone started flooding a little bit. And then, as Ben said, the next day he reached out, and Knowing Troy's past, it was pretty cool. I had Brooks Bryan there. I met him, I think, maybe a week later after Ben texted me in the Cape. So that was cool knowing him and his potential. And you can see how good he is now. And not wanting that for myself, that's probably a huge part of the reason. They had multiple Northwest Florida players and Japola too, which is familiar faces because it's same conference. So I had all those guys there. Shane Lewis, who I knew from the year before, who was an absolute monster at junior college, and the season he put on at Troy as well, coming from junior college. That was probably a huge part of the reason why I came.
Nice.
Seth, I know you had a question about the Cape.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to last year just a little bit if you guys don't care. Each week, the three of us would talk about, obviously this is Sunbelt baseball, and we would talk about Troy, Southern Miss, and Coastal. And those were our regional teams. And we started getting closer to the end of towards the tournament last year, the Sunbelt tournament, and I think you got the end of your schedule was just brutal. Was there? Just describe the feeling of. Did you know it was going to be hard to get into a regional at that point? Were you shocked? Were you upset? What were the emotions towards the end of last year going into the conference tournament?
Yeah. Oh, you got it. No, you go.
No, Blake, you got it. You go first. I'll go second.
Yeah, we going into the year, we won every series until the last one against Southern Miss, where we just didn't play our best baseball. Then going into the conference tournament, you don't want to go into the conference tournament not playing your best baseball. And after we lost that early one, our goal was just to make it to the weekend after that. And we made it to the weekend, but we needed to win that morning one. We fell short, which was tough, but we thought we had a chance still, and that just puts a bigger go for us this year. We're all hungry, excited. The players from last year are even more excited than me, which is hard. So it's a good season for us.
Yeah, I mean, just to echo that, I mean, it's frustrating even talking about it now. You are the beacon of consistency in terms of what we did throughout the year. You win every series until the last, and you ran into quite possibly the hottest team.
On Sundays as well, Coach.
What? I'm sorry?
You guys were consistent on Sundays as well.
We it's sometimes on Sundays it just didn't work out, but that's part of what we are now, right? Like, we don't sneak up on people, and I think they don't punt because they lost the first two games against us, and they're still it's a good league, and they're still gonna give you the best shot and all those things. And I think that's the frustrating part is in baseball, it's very hard to win every single game. I don't remember the last time someone went 56-0. I know at the Division I level, and I think that's obviously a very difficult thing to do. But when you win every single series, I also think that's very tough. And Southern Miss, who was one of, if not the hottest team in college baseball, we ran into, and they beat us. They were very good against us on that weekend. And, it's first and second, nobody out in the ninth. If we get a bunt down, it could be a different ball game, could be a different story. But were we shocked? Yeah, absolutely, because we felt we deserved to be in, especially when two teams in our league were hosts. I just don't think the other conference tournaments went our way. I think there were a lot of one-bid leagues that turned into two-bid leagues, and that was unfortunate. It's not fun to watch those games, but it was a tough pill to swallow. But like Blake said, I think that would hopefully leaves a sour taste in our mouth as a program, and will push us forward through this year.
Yeah. One little note for people that are watching or listening to this is a reminder: this Troy team took the series from Coastal Carolina, and we know how far they got. Again, as a reminder, they didn't lose the series until the very last one against that hot Southern Miss team. And you guys were also ranked throughout the entirety of the season. I think this is where the three of us had the biggest problem with it. There was no punishment, and maybe there shouldn't have been, that you were losing a third game in a series because you kept winning all these series, and they kept you high in the rankings because of it, in the top 25. And then all of a sudden, that last series happens, and I think that's where all of our frustration came from, watching you guys get left out after what was a wildly successful season all the way around in every other aspect, except for that very, very small portion at the end. And again, people have arguments, but we're Sunbelt homers, and we would have liked to have seen Troy get in there and be a deserving team, because we saw how well the Sunbelt did and how well the Sunbelt's done over previous years by putting 4 or 5 teams into the tournament. So hopefully we can get back to those measurements this year, with Troy being one of the leaders of the pack, as we expect them to be. I guess my question to lead it from that was, is there like a specific motto or mantra for this season that you guys are using? Maybe, Coach, start with you, that you guys are leaning on going in?
Yeah, and it's kind of been the same one from the fall. We've gone with leave no doubt, and we left out, right? I mean, we can say what we want of we deserved or should have been in, but we left doubt in the whole in the whole thing. So that's kind of been our motto this year, and it will be moving forward. We got, Blake just showed you the bands that say leave no doubt, so our guys see it every single day, along with our core values of the program. So they see that every day. So obviously we hope that when they look down and things are tough or whatever it might be, or we've won 4 in a row, that, the 5th game is just as important. And so Skylar does a great job of, promoting that to our program and helping them understand what that means. They're not just words that go on a wristband that we all wear, but or on our practice plan every single day. But I think he speaks it into our team, so it helps them understand of not only what it means, but how do we do it. And I think our guys have taken that in and have shown a lot of that through the fall and through the spring. And obviously we're ready to play the game so that we can show that.
Got a question for Blake and Coach. You can chime in on this too. Sunbelt, I just kind of wrote this down. 21 draft picks last year, 11 in the first 9 rounds. Like, there's some dudes in this league, right? Blake, is there a matchup or a pitcher that you're excited to see this year? And on top of that, just speak of the overall competitiveness of this league and all the talent that's in it.
Coastal Carolina, DJ Carbone, that's probably one of the top tier guys in the league easily. That sinker, that 94 sink, it's a good pitch. I'm always excited to face the best guys, and I think he's probably one of the best in the league. He doesn't get talked about that much, but it's not a fun at bat for any left-handed hitter. Yeah. And what was the next part of the question?
Just overall the talent in the league. I mean, coming from Australia, going to JUCO, going to Western Kentucky, and then coming into the Sun Belt, just your thoughts on the overall talent that you see every weekend, every stadium you show up in.
Every game, each year the Sun Belt's getting better and better. It's the Fun Belt for a reason. You can go. We were talking about Arkansas State last year, Old Dominion. They're bringing out left-handers in the 5th, 6th inning, throwing 94, 96, just pump and shed. Even the bottom tier teams just as good as the top tier teams, and so. It's just a fun experience for a hitter. Each week you're going to go into a tough matchup no matter what, and if you just keep being consistent all year, it's going to end well for you. Quality at bats.
I got one follow-up question for you real quick. You got walked 65 times last year. I think that was 3rd most in NCAA. You talked about the guys that you face. What makes you so hard to get out? I mean, your on base percentage is through the roof. Drawing 65 walks is not easy, and they weren't all intentional walks. Kind of, what is your approach at the plate that makes you so selective?
Just getting on base, that's how you win games. And if I get on base, it helps my team behind me. Last year I batted 1, 2, 3, whatever spot in the lineup. If I'm on base for my team, that's my approach. So it's like, do whatever it takes to get on base for the team. Hit by pitches, walks. The approach is just to see the fastball, be on time for the fastball, see breaking balls up. Just do the right things and have quality at bats all day long. And if you have quality at bats, it's going to lead to success.
So obviously we try to follow every team. So we know, a couple key players here or there. Who are the dudes that are going to, for Troy baseball this year? Obviously we wanted to have you on, Blake. I've been following Jimmy a little bit. Just tell us the dudes, when we flip the TV on, who's going to carry this team this year?
I think today was Jimmy's first day without a home run in 6 games, if I'm being really honest with you.
With Bodine out, is Jimmy considered the top catcher in the league now at this point?
I don't see why he wouldn't be. He's incredible. Right. I think he's had 10 extra base hits in 4 or 5 games. He hits the ball 114. He's got a rocket behind home plate. He's incredible. Wow, I can't wait till people see what he's about this year.
Hey, can you call him up real fast too? See if he can hop on real quick. No, it's interesting to hear you guys just, you guys love your teammates. It's interesting. I love hearing you guys talk about building each other up. Who else we got on here?
Aaron Plasecki. Wait to see that man hit. That man is just incredible. Like, it'll be 0-2 count. It'll be a 96-mile fastball inside, and it's cool, calm, and collected. Here's a slap triple down backside. You already know about Steve Meyer, Nico. You got Sean Darnell's back, Josh Pine, Houston Markham, Gavin Schrader. We have too many hitters for a 9-man lineup. Probably Caden Reeves, the freshman. That man hits the ball just as hard as Jimmy as a freshman. Jay Burroff. It's a big boy lineup this year. A lot of home runs, a lot of power, a lot of extra base hits. Should be a good year.
Yeah, Coach, I think you guys probably from 1 to 9 might have one of the deepest batting orders in the league. Talk about your pitching staff a little bit. Who's a guy that's going to show up on the mound this year that people might not have heard of that's going to blow some folks away?
Yeah, we've been fortunate. I think we've done a very good job in the portal for sure. This past summer, and summers before, but I think we really collected a lot of arms, and we needed a lot of arms. We lost a lot of innings off last year's staff. Offensively on the other side, we returned quite a bit. So it's just kind of that year where we had to go after more arms. And you look at Tommy Egan, a University of Illinois Chicago transfer, who's pitched on Friday nights at UIC and has done it, in a good league, and with the development of what Skyler and his guys do down in the bullpen, I think he'll tick up. Benjamin Stubbs is a left-handed arm from Flagler, a Division II, and it's a mid-90s lefty, super athletic arm, very, very difficult to square up, and just a tough at bat, lefties and righties. There's a lot of them, and Blake Dean was really good today. I mean, it's a Kansas State transfer. It's like, as an offensive guy, you're watching these guys and you're getting very, very frustrated that we're not having better at bats. And then you have to take a step back and be like, man, maybe he's just good. And so you watch him. And Dylan Alonso, Columbia State junior college transfer, a mid-90s fastball, can really spin the breaking ball. Just a big guy. Zach Crotchfelt from Texas Tech, another big lefty whose fastball is elite. I know I'm going to miss some guys.
Yeah.
Noah Thigpen returns. He's been as good as advertised this spring. Blake, you face them all. I mean, Lucas Littoral from Western Kentucky.
Dylan King.
Cooper Ellingworth was a guy who had starts at USC Upstate. I know I'm going to miss some, and I don't really, the pitchers,
They're in their own little world down there.
They're in their own little world, I like to say hi to them in the stretch line, so I hope I don't make anyone mad if they happen to watch this.
Hey, that's a good problem to have. Enough names that you're going to forget somebody. Hey, I want to follow that up, and I know we talked about this last year, Coach, with the portal. How does that change your recruiting philosophy? I mean, obviously, before the portal was a big thing, it was, go get a high school kid, get them in, develop them. Obviously, you're always searching to fill a need, a spot that you need someone in. But is it easier to go into the portal and take a guy that's had 2 years at the Division II or JUCO level, that's kind of been through a weight program and has seen, big arms and played in big moments? Does that change your recruiting philosophy versus going in and grabbing a high school kid that might take a year or two to develop, but we can get there?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, we've always been pretty particular with our high school recruiting. We've never really had huge high school classes. Even before we got to Troy, it's always been a very transfer-heavy place. Now, the transfer has changed, right? It used to be all JUCO. Now it's a mix of JUCO. We still want to bring in 5 or 6 high school guys a year. I mean, we love our classes that we've brought in. I mean, our 24 class. I guess it'd be a 24 class with Jimmy Janicki and Houston Markham and, Noah Thigpen. Like, those guys are special, right? And but the portal has been very good to us. And with the roster changes, shrinking, look, it's a lot easier to take a Blake Cavill who has produced at the Division I level than it is to necessarily take someone who hasn't. And Coach Meade does a great job of integrating portal guys. Like, I think we have 23 new guys this year, and a lot of them are portal guys. And he does a great job of integrating those guys to where it's not – the acclimation stage is not 7 months. Our guys get acclimated quickly, and he's the reason for that and why that happens. And obviously our players, they went through the same thing when they got here, so it's easier for them to help players acclimate early on. And we love the portal. I mean, we may be in the minority, but we love it. We've gotten good players out of it. We've gotten mature kids. So we've been fortunate.
Yeah, it looks like
I want to change direction just slightly and talk about the schedule that you guys have this year. So let's look at first your out of conference slate. And I mean, we've got some pretty darn good baseball teams on this slate. And luckily for you guys, you don't really have to go north too much to match up with them, as we kind of alluded before we hit record on the early season weather up north. But you do have a Rutgers team on there. Blake, we'll start with you. What game, home or away, are you most looking forward to on the out-of-conference portion of the schedule here?
Saturday night, ECU.
Yeah.
That's the game I'm waiting for right there. Under the lights, bright night. In the tournament, it's going to be probably our best versus their best. So put me in the jungle. I'm excited.
Who did he say? I'm sorry.
Nice.
ECU Saturday night.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
So we play in their Keith LeClaire Classic. So it's Western Carolina, ECU, and Rutgers. I think that's weekend 3 at their place. Yeah.
I grew up 4 minutes from that stadium. When I was a kid, we used to get out of school and ride our bike, and the jungle, you could just show up, and they had like wooden benches out there that you could stand on and watch the games. And man, that place is that's a lot of fun. That atmosphere is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. Coach, is there one that sticks out to you that you want to get back to, or one that you just always look forward to?
No, I always like playing Big Ten teams. I mean, I grew up in Big Ten country. So it's just all, we've played since we've been here. We've played Indiana up there and down here. But, when you're in this, I guess this is year 14 for me, like I don't totally care, like I know that's probably coach speak. It's not. I really don't. The road trips are cool because we get to eat at different places, I guess. Vanderbilt may have good food. I don't, sure. Yeah.
If you like hot chicken, I bet Vanderbilt has plenty of options in that Nashville area.
Maybe the spot. Yeah.
To hit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, when you're in
And
Greenville, if you can sneak away to a place called Bee's Barbecue,
okay,
it will not disappoint. It's if you drive there, do not be appalled by the way the outside of the building looks. If you can get a barbecue sandwich from there, you'll be
that's usually the best places.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah. And you guys also have an Alabama-rich schedule here, right? You got Alabama themselves, Alabama State, Samford, UAB, Jack State. Is that part of an appeal, like when it comes to baseball, that you can schedule more of these types of matchups? I know, football teams all the time are they're lucky to get one, in-state matchup, unless it's somebody, in your state within the conference. But, is this a part of the baseball schedule you guys look forward to, seeing so many teams so close?
Yeah, and it's a convenient thing, right? I think all those we play on the midweek, so they're all pretty close. Jack State's probably the furthest, like 3.5 hours. But Alabama, we go there, they come to us, which is nice, and those guys do a good job, and it's a good state of college baseball. I mean, Alabama State, Samford, UAB, Jack State, those teams are really good, And so, it's nice that we have that type of state where we can play different teams. We don't have to play the same ones 3 times. Like there's enough options to where we can do a home and a road or whatever it might be. So we're super fortunate on that.
Absolutely.
So I had a question, and I've always wondered, and it's regarding like maybe midweeks and Sunday afternoon games. Is it a NCAA rule that, like, let's say your midweek was 3.5 hours away? There's no stay in the night, correct? You're always traveling back. Is that correct?
Not necessarily. For the most part, like if a lot of years, if we went to Jack State, we would drive home after the game, but it also depends who we have on the weekend. We'll do some times where it's Wednesday night. We have a midweek and we're traveling on the road. Like say we're playing Alabama on a Wednesday and we're playing Ark State on the weekend. We'll just continue to roll. We'll just continue to roll to Jonesboro post Tuscaloosa, which makes the trip actually a little bit easier because you're not driving, the 7 hours or 8 hours on a Thursday, get out of the bus, practice, and then get to the hotel late and then play the next day. So sometimes it's a lot more convenient. But most of the times we're not traveling to stay the night on a Tuesday night and play on a Wednesday or travel on a Monday night to play on a Tuesday. It's typically a day and a back trip or there and back trip.
Yeah. Blake, have you brought anything over from Australia that like the guys weren't aware of game wise? We heard what was the game, fellas, that we heard from
everybody talked about Mafia on the bus last year.
Yeah. Is that happening at Troy? Or is there something else you guys do when you're riding on the bus?
No, we're all about Mafia. No, don't worry about that. No. Every bus trip, you can have 30 minutes on the bus trip and there will be 20 guys in ready to go no matter what. Lights on, ready to go. Here we go. Always.
Nice. I love that right there. And then we covered the out-of-conference slate, so let's talk a little bit about who you've matched up with in the sunbelt this year. No Coastal Carolina this time around, but you've got some other heavyweights in here. Texas State obviously entering their last year within the sunbelt. Got Southern Miss on there yet again. Georgia Southern was having a pretty decent year until about midway through, but could be dangerous. The Cajuns are expected to kind of round back into form. Marshall may be a dangerous team. Blake, starting off here, is there anybody you want to face or anybody you're kind of looking forward to hosting or going and visiting?
Raging Cajuns at Riddle Pace Field. Very excited for the Louisiana to come into my field this year, have my fans supporting me, and it's going to be a good environment and not a probably won't be a fun weekend for them.
Nice.
What weekend is Southern Miss?
Coach, you got one?
I don't, but I will say this, Marshall, I was at Western Kentucky with Marshall in Conference USA, and then they, I guess, followed me to the Sun Belt. And I played a lot of games at the YMCA field. So I am excited to see their new place because the YMCA field, that was a special place. But I've heard the new one is very nice. So I think that'll be a cool thing to see, just the difference from where it was to, I know it's not the same, place, but to what it looks like now. Because that YMCA, that was something.
I want to have a follow-up question. And it might not be a team that's on your schedule this year, but in conference, obviously you're going to say you guys have the best home atmosphere, but what do you think is the best road atmosphere that you guys have faced, whether it's because of the talent of the team, the field, or just the fans?
I've only been to probably quite a few because we didn't go to that many last year, but I'd say I would have to say the Louisiana. They were pretty good fan base down there. Trying to think where else. We didn't go to Southern Miss. I know they have a good fan base. We didn't go to Coast.
Yeah, we didn't get the full effect of Old Dominion because we played at the Pro Park because they're doing their renovations. I
don't Southern Miss this year.
Ooh, it's early. I think it's like
second week of conference.
Yeah, it's early. Yeah.
So after ODU, and then you got Alabama State on the midweek. It's a Tuesday, and then Southern Miss for those weekends set.
Yeah.
So,
You know, we say it all the time in the recruiting process. Like, the cool thing about the Sun Belt is, like, every place is just a little bit different.
Yeah.
They all have their kind of unique stuff, right? We have Doubles Alley, which we think is the greatest place for a fan to watch a baseball game. But, you know, the Cajun Cooking Club and the stuff they do after the 7th inning, or I think it's the 7th, right? You know, Southern Miss has their stuff that they do. Obviously, a great fan support. Texas State's, I think, it's a train down the first baseline, which they're not in the league after this year anyway. But you know, like, everyone, you know, Monroe has the cookout down the line. Like, everyone has their own little unique thing, which I think makes the Sun Belt, you know, that much cooler than a lot of leagues, just because some of them don't have the uniqueness to their you know, stands or stadium or whatever it might be.
yeah, absolutely. All right, we're gonna end here on a fun one. So, not only is
Before you
baseball
do that,
season,
I got a quick question, Dom.
Okay, go ahead, Seth.
We like to check in on our kids every now and then. What's our boy Mike Bello doing nowadays?
Mikey Bello.
Yeah, that's Marv's boy.
University of Winthrop, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's coaching at Winthrop.
Okay.
He's doing a great job from what I've heard, and he's going to be a good one. You know, his dad was a longtime coach, great guy. And so I think Mikey's going to follow suit, and I think he wants to be really good at it. So
Good for him.
Is he a grad assistant down there, or did he just?
He's got a I think it's a development. Like, I don't know the title. You know, I don't know the exact title, but I know he's getting to do some coaching and things like that. So.
And so, Dom, before you get into the fun question, I got one more question. We asked this to pretty much every player that we have on. So all three of us have kids that play sports, young kids. My boys are in love with the game of baseball, play baseball nonstop. So, you know, every little kid says, hey, I'm going to go play D1 baseball. I'm going to get drafted. I'm going to go to the show. And Blake, you're on the cusp of that, right? So the question we always ask is, if you could go back and talk to your 10-year-old self to help you achieve those goals and be where you are now, what is the best piece of advice that you would give your 10-year-old self?
Probably just stay focused. You know, keep your mindset on the right things, do the right things, eat the right things. Just stay positive. You know, when you're younger, you think about failure more than success. So I'd probably just tell myself that success means more than anything in a sport of failures.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I love that. All right, so we teased the fun question at the end here. You guys have baseball around the corner. You know, every 4 years we get the Olympics as well. If you weren't doing baseball, or if you could just compete in one of the winter events at the Olympics, which one would you choose? I'm gonna start with Coach first and see what he picks. I have a feeling we're gonna get one really crazy answer here.
Well, I'm not a real risk taker, so some of that, like, skeleton and all that stuff, I'm out on that. I think that, like, the speed skating is that's a fun one to watch. The quick ones. I don't want to watch I don't know, you know, what they call their races or whatever, the 16 or the 1500 meter. I want to see the short bursts, or I want to do the short burst. So do that. But that one's a unique one. Yeah, I think I'll go with that one. I could see Blake doing curling. He would be very good at curling.
I've got myself, Thigpen, and Zach Crotchfeld on the bobsled team. It looks like.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I'm ready. I already have my we've got a schedule going. I can see it.
There you go. You've got the Jamaican bobsled team from Cool Runnings, and now we're going to put the Australian leading this makeshift team of bobsledders now. I love it.
I can see we're dangerous.
Hey, better question. Dom, what are you doing?
Me?
You're playing hockey. That's an easy answer, probably.
If I'm good enough to be on the roster, I'm playing hockey. I got to ask Coach. He picks skating. He says from the Northeast. I got to know, are you a skater? You've done it in the past?
I'm Midwest.
Okay.
I did grow up playing ice hockey, and I find it crazy. And my mom would take us out to the local pond, and we'd skate on the pond. And I wouldn't in a million years do that now. Like, that terrifies me. But it was so cold. That's what we did. And I actually took my kids ice skating in Huntsville, like, I don't know, a month ago. and they were a little, Dad got some credit. They were pretty blown away that I could ice skate. They grew up in the South. So, but yeah, I always enjoyed ice skating and all that stuff.
Blake,
Nice.
you ever been on a
I'm
set of
waiting.
skates? You've been ice skating?
I mean, I've tried. I'm more of a Summer Olympics type person.
That's why this one was interesting, because there's no real great easy answer. It's not like there's something really closely related to baseball as an option. So that's why I'm waiting for some guy to come out and be like figure skating. Just catch me totally off guard. I don't know if we'll get it, but
you might. Yeah. You might.
Oh man. Well, gentlemen, unfortunately, we're trying to keep this, wrapped up to some close time, because we have others we're getting to as well, because we want to preview what is, in our opinion, easily one of the top 4 conferences in college baseball. We like to say that the Sun Belt is not a mid-major conference. So I'm going to leave it up to you with this closing segment. If you guys want to shout anything out, tell people where to follow you on socials, especially Blake, being the player, everyone's going to want to watch and follow your journey from Australia to JUCO to Western to Troy to hopefully further and beyond. So let people know that stuff real quick, and then we'll say our dues.
Josh Pine made sure that I had to mention him at least 3 times. He told me that earlier today. But just Instagram, Blake Cavill, and then Twitter is just Cavill Blake. Pretty simple.
Nice.
That doesn't surprise me about Pine. He's an Indiana Hoosier. He graduated from IU. And our other assistant, Coach Feynman's an IU guy. And they, as of recent, they want to make everything about themselves. And we've had enough of that around here. So, but no, yeah.
Well, guys,
I got nothing. Josh Pine's a great player. You guys, everyone should watch Josh Pine play baseball.
There you go. A great shout out to end it on. Immense good luck and journeying through the rest of the schedule coming up. We will be watching. Maybe we'll be reaching back out to get you guys on after a big weekend win, or maybe previewing a weekend that's coming up. But we really appreciate your time and spending it with us here tonight.
Coach, I do have one thing.
Yes.
For some reason, I've been voted the guy to do this. We love promoting all Sunbelt baseball teams. So if you got any free shirts or any free gear, hats, anything like that laying around, shoot Dom, or Dom can shoot you those sizes. We'd love to support Troy baseball in here.
We have a guy named Edgar Allan Joe, and we will have him get that to you guys.
Sounds good. We appreciate it.
That's a first team all name by right?
Edgar Allan Joe. I have to get you the story, but yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Well, guys, best of luck to y'all this season, and we'll be in touch.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.